in this lightning round, so lightning round typically is where we kind of summarize all the kind of headlines from the past week. But this week, we're going to do kind of the similar thing, but not. It's one headline. We're going to time box it 5 minutes or less, so we can kind of keep our episodes short. This week, it's all about Marvel Studios suing to keep Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the rights to Avengers. Pretty crazy. Because I wouldn't have even like thought about this angle or really like understood it. But I'll read the news and I'll read the breakdown, and we can kind of go just jib jab about it. News. So Marvel has filed a series of lawsuits in a bid to retain full control of characters including Spider-Man and Iron Man. The complaints, which were obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, came after the estate of the late comic book artist Steve Ditko filed a notice of termination with the U.S. Copyright Office for the copyright of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Both are currently held by Marvel Entertainment, but the estate of Ditko, who co-created both characters with the late Stan Lee, is looking to terminate the grant of copyright to Marvel by June 2023 through a clause in the U.S. copyright law. Ditko's estate filed the notices in August as part of a flurry of notices filed by the intellectual property lawyer Mark Toberoff on behalf of the estate of comic book artists and writers, including Don Heck, Gene Colan, not Colin, which I had a thing with today, and Don Rico, seeking to reclaim rights over characters including Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Captain Marvel.
Sorry, I can't get past that.
Oh, yes, very good.
So quick.
I hope you came for butt jokes.
Colon, not colon.
So yeah, the gist of this is that guys who were contracted and created these characters, there's a time limit when the parent company, Marvel, owns the copyrights of these characters. And from what I understand, it's like 60 years. So Spider-Man could go back to the heirs of Steve Ditko, like the rights to Spider-Man, which could lead to some interesting things. Like they could license out Spider-Man to whoever they wanted.
Right.
So I mean,
DC Comics.
They could do.
They could.
They actually could do that. They could make a Batman and Spider-Man movie if they wanted to. What I find interesting about this, and this is something I haven't seen people talk about, is this could be a backdoor way for Disney to get Spider-Man back.
See, that's a
Oh,
positive.
they just pay
thing
the
for me, right?
Ditko family a shit ton of money for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
That's a big middle finger to Sony.
Yeah.
It's a huge middle finger to Sony.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine that it would just be like the same sock drawer that Bobby Kotick has for buying the rights to anything.
It's like,
Move that
Just
money.
fucking writing check, and Sony's Disney's like, fuck you. Money
$30
Do you want
million?
it in gold
50
bars,
million?
titanium, or vibranium? How do you want your money,
Please.
folks?
hey, as long as the competition creates more interesting stories and more interesting universes, I'm in for it. Let's go.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Game time. I love it.
But I think
I'm
what's
all
going
about
to
it.
actually end up happening is Disney's going to just pay them a
Buy
shit
it.
ton of money. Yeah.
Probably.
Just to
The mouse
retain
owns
the
all.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while I get excited about Marvel having all their characters back, it's always an internal struggle with Disney's
Yeah.
still kind of a shit corporation.
Yeah, the House of Mouse, man. We're never going to get sponsored or get any interviews with them. That's okay.
That's all right. That's all
We
right.
probably get interviews with Scarlett Johansson at this point.
Big eyes. Big eyes.
My wife's not right behind me, right?
No, we were talking about the color scarlet, like the Scarlet Letter. This is a book club now.
This is a book.
Yeah,
right.
they make scarlet colored paint in
It's a
Johannesburg.
Brotherhood
Yeah.
of the Scarlet Pants.
That was me today after my
No,
call.
All right.
No, no. Next slide. Next
This
slide.
is your
Let's
fault.
go.
You did this to me.